Winner live towards the end of today's show, so stay tuned for that.
There's lots of nice stuff around the studio. Now, she's one of Ireland's most recognisable faces, yes, Roz Purcell, but she's taking a break from all this modelling crack. And she's doing this. She's turning into a foodie.
Absolute foodie. She's got a new book. It's already a #1, apparently, a bestseller. It's only on the shelves a week. And Roz has another venture. Are you starting a pop-up shop? Look at her. The vision that is Roz Purcell is with us in studio today.
Well, if you want to see the complete polar opposite, come to the pop-up on Wednesday, because it's going to be myself, my father, and my 2 sisters. Well, it's basically my family. We're going to be running the pop-up because, you know, I'm kind of trying to drag in all my friends. And
yeah, to start, it's also in Bagot Street in Dublin.
It's on Bagot Street, Lower Bagot Street, Dublin. For those of you might know it's right beside Toner's Pub.
Oh, yes.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly where it is now.
You know what? For the launch, I wanted to do something that was different, and I really wanted to bring the book to life. So I just thought, what a great way to kind of get people in who follow the blog, who have followed it for the last 4 or 5 years, and who just love good food.
Yeah, and healthy food and tasty food. The book is lovely.
Food.
I've been reading through it. It's got all the kind of buzzwords and buzz ingredients that people talk about right now. Everything, the quinoa. You seem to love coconut oil. It's in everything.
I do love coconut oil.
You absolutely love coconut oil.
You know what? It's great for everything. And you know what? Most people will know that's also great.
It's great for your skin.
You can even take your makeup off with coconut oil.
Oh, really good to take off waterproof mascara and everything. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. But there is some coconut oil-free recipes in there as well.
I know. We're just saying it's really, it's lovely and tasty.
Yeah.
Roz, how did you get into this? I mean, when did this all start? Because I know about the blog, but, as a model, most people would be modelling, or a lot would be like trying to keep the weight down and not indulging in food. Models and food don't really go together, to be totally honest.
That's kind of exactly why Natural Born Vita started. When I started modelling back when I was 18, so that's about 7, 8 years ago, I just kind of had such an up and down relationship with food. I was constantly under pressure to meet certain measurements that I naturally it wasn't easy for me to get to. So I've taken on every single diet you could ever imagine. I kept that quiet for a number of years because it's not something you really want to promote. It's not quite positive. And I suppose going through that kind of vicious circle with food, because growing up, food was like my biggest passion, and having to lose that passion because I was so insecure about what I looked like, it really led me to Natural Born Feeder, and kind of just like being able to write blogs and kind of inform other young girls who are going through the same thing.
But I think healthy food now, Roz, can be tasty food as well, because healthy food when we were younger, it was all kind of some serious stuff, and it tasted like cardboard, and it didn't taste well. But if you go through the book, there's really healthy food there, but it's really, really tasty.
That's a huge thing. You know what, people, a lot of the time they sacrifice taste for health, and I really wanted to show with this book that you can have both. You can be going home and to a really satisfying and comforting meal, knowing that it's healthy. You're not going to break your routine.
Did you do an awful lot of research in the sense of the ingredients and what they actually do for you? The reality is, now people eat, as you said, the taste is one thing, but people are very aware of what something does. We know that kale is high in iron. We know that coconut oil has great fats. We know that avocado is as good as, this type of thing. We know everything.
You know what? Eating healthy is so addictive because it's such a feel-good factor.
Okay.
After a number of days of eating healthy, you get this really new confidence. And it's just, in every term, you have more energy, and people are really starting to kind of tie in that whole feel-good factor with what they're putting into their bodies. So, now the book isn't like overly, I'm not throwing information down people's throats. It's really
you have banoffee pies and all sorts of nice treats in here as well, but they're made in a healthy manner, is it?
You know what? A big thing with Natural Born Feeder is taking those traditional meals and recreating them in a healthy manner, and also taking things that I would always slip up on, like banoffee pie, it's my favourite dessert, like toffee pops. Like the biscuits, and recreating them into a really nice, healthy, wholesome recipe.
Okay.
Yeah. How does the pop-up, how does the pop-up shop work then? We've seen different restaurants in Dublin, and do you go in, okay, I'm going to be here for a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, or how does it work on a business level?
We're only open for 3 days.
That's it?
That's it. It's now you see us, now you don't. And we've renovated this place from scratch.
For 3 days!
I know. It's so hard because I was in it yesterday and it's come along so much. And I was just thinking, I'm not going to want to leave on Friday night.
And do you have to?
Because, yeah, I do. There's a new restaurant going in afterwards.
Would you not consider making a pop-up restaurant on a longer term? We've seen them in Dublin, certainly. They're popped up for a month and they're still popping. They're still there.
They're still gone, but they move around the place then to another place after 6 months.
Yeah, we can be like the nomad restaurant.
Would you do that?
You know what? Ask me on Friday night.
So yourself and Brezzy, you're like the beautiful couple. How long are you together now?
We're not really ones for counting. We're both terrible. If anyone asked us how long we've been together, we're both like, I don't even know when we met. We don't have an anniversary. It was just some time around then. But I think it's, maybe 3.5 going on 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Has he been working very hard all week, getting the pop-up ready?
He has been, no, he hasn't at all.
No.
No, you know what though? He's been kept well away from it because he's so tall and clumsy.
Poor Brezzy.
Poor Brezzy.
No, but
he's really into healthy eating now,
He's
isn't
really
he?
into, he is. I think, obviously he's such a huge role model as a mental health ambassador. And I think eating healthily and clean really goes hand in hand.
And you know what? We're always talking about, natural ways to boost your serotonin in a country that's quite hard sometimes to live in, even if you don't have any mental health issues.
Yeah.
And has that helped him, omegas, and does he understand now how healthy foods help his mood?
You know what? He's gotten really into health food.
Okay.
So much so that he's stealing all my ingredients. It's really annoying. But no, he's really got into it. And he's using the book the whole time. And he even says himself, he feels so much better when he's eating healthy. And he really makes a huge conscious effort to do so now.
You train a lot together as well, Roz, don't you?
We used to. Yeah, we used to.
Have you stopped that now? Are you in competition?
Yeah, we get so competitive with each other. But it's really nice. It's just in our nature. And there's not in a bad way at all. But even if it's the odd 5K, we'll both be like, what time do you do it in? We're quite,
That is so funny. So your background, of course, you're from Carrick-on-Suir.
Yeah, so a little bit outside Carrick-on-Suir and on the foot of Stephenmon Mountain. And I grew up very kind of, my gran baked every day, so did my aunt. My dad's huge into cooking and baking. And my mum, we're so lucky we grew up, they grew all their own vegetables.
Yeah.
They had all their own apples and fruits and pears. So, it was kind of, I learned how to cook and bake from scratch from day one.
So do you think you're going down this road more now than the whole modelling road? Or are you kind of taking a break from modelling, or how's it working now?
You know what, I still really enjoy modelling. And one thing my mum always said to me that is stuck in my mind throughout is leave modelling for it leaves you.
Oh, that's a good one actually. That's a very good one.
I don't want to be that one that people are looking at and they're like, God, is she still knocking around? So you know what, I always kind of had to think about what my exit strategy would be, and not until about 2 years ago did I realise it was my food, like my passion, So I'm really happy because it's happened so organically, and coming from such a, I suppose, like tougher days with modelling and food and kind of looking at it as my enemy, I've come out so positive with the relationship.
You want to leave the stage while the band is still playing.
Yeah.
That's another way of putting it one time as well.
But you look at, say, people now, say, Moss, and she's in her 40s, still very successful. She's had, highs and lows, to put it mildly, in her career. But she's so the polar opposite to you. I mean, every time she's seen, she has a cigarette in one hand, a glass of wine in the other, and she's still rocking along. How do you see that type of model as a role model for young people these days, as opposed to, say, the younger, fitter, into, green and good and good food and all that?
Everyone's their own person, everyone's individual. I think that's what makes role models, because there has to be a balance of people. I think with her, we've never really got to know her.
Yeah.
That kind of way, like, for all we know, she could be like a yoga fanatic or something like that, or eat really clean. But the only thing we see of her is usually negative things. But I never really look at other people as
you
role
just
models.
do your own. But I suppose
thing.
things have changed. I think young girls are more aware, and that's very important, because body image,
and
it shouldn't be just starve yourself.
Instagram now, it's just, like, even I look at some pictures and it makes me feel insecure, and I'm 25, I've grown into my confidence, grown into myself. So I look at younger girls and I feel so sorry. So that's why I try to push across to healthy eating as much as possible.
Roz, thank you so much.
Thanks for bringing some lovely treats as well, Roz.
Thank you so much. And we'll hear a lot more from Roz. There's our lovely book, Natural Born Feeder.
We have 5 copies to give away. If you go to our Facebook page, all the information is on there, and you're going to be back next week cooking. Looking forward to that.
Glamour in the kitchen, baby. Not like you're not glamorous anyway.
Thank you, Maura, for that. Yes, I'll take that any day of the week.
Glamour and glamour together. All right, coming off after the break, after losing 35 members of his family in the Holocaust, we're going to meet the man who turned his childhood horror into a crusade against hate.